Hello everyone and welcome to Gaming FTL. My name is Josh and this is my top 10 indie games of 2014. All of the games in the list have had their full release this year, so there are no alphas or betas here, so let's get cracking. 10. Legend of Grimrock 2 has been great fun to let's play. It's easy to pick up and fills those dungeon crawling and puzzling cravings. When you get a puzzle right, you feel very smart. The combat is very simple too, with lots of weapons options, but also items for less experienced players to lean on so that they don't have to attempt fights multiple times. My favourite thing is that everything you see in the campaign can be used in the inbuilt level editor for custom maps that can be uploaded to the Steam Workshop. Mods like the procedurally generated worlds are already being put into the game, so it looks like it has a long life ahead of it. 9. Out There brings all the cool things that the sci-fi themes of Interstellar has into a space exploring and resource management roguelike game. Travelling to other worlds and encountering aliens and alien technology is really cool. And the more you play the game, the more you unveil the alien language, which will give you a deep insight into what the overall story is. 8. I like OlliOlli because it's not about being able to pull off tricks, because they're never more complicated than 1 or 2 button presses. It's more about timing and landing them for high scores. The later levels make you feel slick for grinding the entire way across a level. If you land enough perfect grinds, your dude starts to sparkle because you're so awesome. When you're learning the level, it can be frustrating bailing repeatedly, but it's worth it. 7. Much like The Walking Dead and other Telltale games, Always Sometimes Monsters gives you important and sometimes heart-wrenching decisions to make about your journey to your character's ex-partner's wedding. You also have to try and save your book deal to pull yourself out of poverty. Is it possible to do both? In the meantime, getting a job packaging food and meeting other interesting characters can help or hinder you. 6. Nidhogg is a fencing multiplayer game, but it's also so much more than that. It's set in a strange world where the duelists explode when they die and the winner gets eaten by a giant worm. It's very simple to get the hang of, but it only takes 1 hit to take out your opponent, so the fight becomes about positioning, getting the upper hand, and at the right time that might give you the opportunity you need to take them out. Get killed and it's their turn to run to the end of the level. This can make duels very tense and fun for both new and experienced players. 5. Lethal League is another multiplayer competitive brawler. This one is more for people that want Smash Bros on their computer. Obviously it has a smaller cast of characters than Smash Bros, but they're all nicely differentiated with unique specials, ways of moving and hitting angles. You have to hit the ball into your opponent instead of just beating them up, which is a nice change, and makes you move around the ball and into positions where you can deflect it in a direction your opponents aren't expecting. The more the ball is hit, the faster it gets, and this is accompanied by epic effects, and it takes some really tight timing to return it at those speeds. 4. Luftrausers is made to make you feel good, even if you're a terrible pilot. The plane animations make you look cool as you flip around to take down another flight of planes or strafe some ships. Then the aces come for you and tougher enemies like the blimp pile up. Soon your screen is filled with bullets and there is barely enough room to move. It's fun to try out different combinations of plane parts and see how they both change how you play and how it changes the music. 3. Octodad is probably the silliest game I've played this year. It has a short and sweet story mode, plus the recent short level updates, plus the Steam Workshop levels. You are not going to run out of things to do. Multiplayer is probably the best bit because each person takes a couple of limbs and coordinating between you ends up being really hilarious and puts you in weird situations. 2. Banished is a very serene but tough town builder with no unlocks. Just the requirement that your villagers survive long enough to support themselves so more villagers can come in and live in your town so that they can support themselves, and then there are more people coming in, and it goes around in a loop like that until disasters happen and you have to try and rebuild from fires and things ruining your crops. Some of the time your town can run itself, and some of the time you have to work really hard to make sure your villagers have enough food to survive the winter. There are also Steam Workshop mods that add in more buildings. 1. I was waiting for something to come along and make me love FPS games again, and this year it was Lovely Planet. It's bright and joyful, thanks in part to the amazing soundtrack by Callum Bowen. Also, it's rock hard because it needs you to learn a level by failing it and then running through it, making precise shots on every single enemy before you finish it. When you're stuck on later levels, I really love going back to earlier ones and getting into a kind of flow, clearing them level after level. There are leaderboards for the competitive and stars for the completionists. This is all backed up by silky smooth shooting gameplay, and that's why this is my number one for 2014. Thanks everyone for watching. If you want to see my picks for the best free indie games of 2014 and other top 10 lists, then check out the annotations and the descriptions for links to the games. If you have enjoyed the video, then give it a thumbs up, and if you want to discover more cool, free, weird and interesting indie games, then subscribe for daily videos. And until next time, goodbye! Flip around and take down another flight of planes or strafe